worked.
Okay. Well, nice to meet you, Laura.
Nice to meet you too. Where are you?
I'm
Where
in
are you?
I'm in London, a damp and grey London.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Ah, so
I'm
I
in
I need to
beautiful
talk
El
about,
Paso, Texas.
yeah. We'll do music. Well, I will do more than music because I don't know much about you. I happened across your album from a promotional download that came my way. I thought this
Right.
sounds good. I'll download this album, and wow. Then I checked your website and saw that there's a lot more to you that I never knew about, which is my loss. And so here we are talking on a Friday morning in your case, an afternoon in my case. And I've learned that you're probably more of an actress than a singer, or both equally. How does it work out for you, Laura?
Well, I started out as an actress and toured the country for several years and did some film work, and but I always sang. It's just in the last 10 years I've just concentrated on music and singing, and I just love it.
Well, it sounds
Having a wonderful time.
yeah. It sounds as though you have a great chemistry with your band as well.
Oh, they're wonderful. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. They're really stellar players that have played with so many different great artists, and they wanted to play with me. So that's wonderful. And they're all in LA and I'm in Texas. So it's kind of sad right now with the pandemic. I can't get back out there, and
No,
but we
quite.
will. Eventually we will.
Yeah, yeah. The album that I've been listening to, the live album, and one of your previous albums is heavily blues influenced.
Right.
The PR on your website gives a more broad musical background, but you must have had some intensive blues at home, maybe with your parents, blues people.
You know, this is funny. You'll laugh. My father was an opera singer.
Oh, really?
But we listened to all kinds of music growing up. But
Yeah.
I always loved rock and roll and blues and jazz, and um, so I had as a young girl, I had a great education because of my father. So
Yeah. But it sounds as though you've absorbed the style of some of the great blues ladies of the past, the Ella Fitzgeralds, the Sarah Vaughans, the Dinah Washingtons.
well, I grew up listening to all those wonderful ladies and
Yeah,
men, and I always gravitated to it. But um, I'm just lucky that I got with such great musicians and that pushed me, and it turned out to be a really, really fun album. We did it live here in El Paso, and they all came in from LA, and it all was kind of magical. It was a magical night.
yes, it sounded that way, Laura. And also with the fact with live albums through the years, some sound live and kind of artificial is too strong a word, but they
Right.
sound manufactured.
Mhm.
But this one, it sounds as though it could have been a studio session with a few people hanging around the site. It sounds really there's a good togetherness between you and the audience.
Yes, and we chose not to put too much background of people cheering and things like that, because I was told that radio doesn't like that too much. So I said, well, whatever, but
Yeah,
yeah, we had a beautiful night.
it sounded so. I've been playing "Can't Say No" quite a lot because that's quite a catchy little hook to it, and there's a bit of audience on the end of that, which kind of helps to add to the flavour of the song.
Right, right.
Yeah,
That's a fun song.
yeah, yeah. That's probably not from experience.
Nor mine, but
Uh, what I don't get with the download from the album is any writer credits or other information. So I don't know whether you write your own material or you borrow standards, or how does the repertoire selection come about?
I feel like that. I write, but I feel like this live album, there's so many great writers um, that never get their songs heard.
Yeah,
And so when I was selecting oh, they all resonated with me. I loved them all. So, but I think I'm a better singer than a writer, to be honest.
Well,
You know,
certainly you have a voice and a projection that actually stands out quite significantly in the current era. I'm speaking of. I'm not saying you're a mature lady now, so you've seen the world a little bit. But some of the younger people coming through don't have the same presence on stage and in singing that you've managed to achieve.
well, I think that comes from my acting background. But I'll say I don't ever want to sing a song that I can't relate to. And yeah, I don't know. I am a mature woman. I am, been at it a long time, honey.
So your
Nothing's
theatre
crazy.
work, did the theatre work include any musicals as well, or just straight to drama?
I did a lot of drama, but yes, I did several musicals. We toured. I mean, I would go to Nashville, we would rehearse, and then we would go out on the road tour all over the United States, and then come back in after a year and rehearse another one and go. And I did that for several years, and that was a great education for me as a singer and an actress. So.
Yes. Yeah. Who do you look up to as an actress? Have you any what are your main influences on the stage side of things?
There's so many wonderful, wonderful actresses and actors. I can't really say one specific one because I try to just to be true to my own self.
Yes,
That
that's
makes
the
any
way.
difference. And I try as well as with music. I try not to compare myself to someone that's famous because I think that limits you. You have to kind of just be your own authentic self and let that fall out and see
Yeah.
what happens.
Well, you're famous in your own right, so you don't need to look up to anybody. You've got your own image.
I don't know. We'll see. I wish this pandemic was over so I could come over to your side of the of the world.
That must happen. It can't go on forever, Laura. There must be a time when things are going to be able to evolve back to a more fluid state of activity.
Right. I hope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your off-Broadway work, I read about so many, especially music things that over the years that have started off-Broadway and then broken into the mainstream. Is there anything from your off-Broadway work that you're particularly proud of?
Well, I've lived several places. I lived in New York City for several years, and that was an education. And it's just a wonderful thing to be off Broadway. I always wanted to be on Broadway, but off Broadway is a testing ground for those theatrical shows that make it to Broadway. And
Yeah.
it was just a great education for me. I feel so lucky that I had that opportunity, and to work with some of the great acting coaches, Stella Adler and Herbert Berghoff Institute. I really studied my craft as well as working. So,
Have you had any lessons in the music world, or is this all just natural?
well, my dad used to try to give me lessons. I try to work with different coaches just to make sure that my voice stays up to snuff. But it's mostly, I got to say, it's pretty much, I think that you either have that ability or you don't, but you take that muscle and you exercise it. So,
Yeah.
um, so we'll see. I guess I got it from my dad.
Okay. And do you play any instruments, or you just have your voice as an instrument?
I can play, but after playing with some of these greats that are on this album, I think, okay, I'm just gonna sing. I'm just gonna sing. I don't want to feel like a little hillbilly over here with my clink, clink, clink.
Yeah. Do you have any particular favourites from the live album, Laura? Things that you think, I must do that next time I play live?
I Need a Man and Still Got the Blues, and I like Big Top Hat is fun.
That's a fun song, isn't it? Yeah.
That's a fun song. So they're all, they're all fun to me. And but those two, particularly when I listen to myself, those to me, I'm proud of.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of the whole album, but those in particular,
Well, so
I
you
like
should
them.
be. Do you listen back to your own material very often?
Do I listen to? I'm sorry.
Do you listen back to your own material very often? Do you review what you've done and think,
Yes, yes, yes. I go back and sometimes I go, ah, I should have done this, I should have done that. But I think this particular album, I don't do that as much. And I think it's because of the fabulous musicians that played or that play with me, and
yes,
they're just unbelievable. And my producer and bassist, Terry Wilson,
yeah,
has been a great influence, and Teresa James, who's a great blues singer in her own right,
yeah.
is really a great mentor to me as well. So, and the whole band are just fabulous.
The
I
band
mean,
really,
I couldn't
yeah.
have done it without them.
Well, I've reviewed the album, as I mentioned in the email, to in the Blues in Britain magazine, which is coming out late in November. So hopefully a whole new perspective might be added to your career as a lot of blues enthusiasts suddenly look onto the Laura Tate website.
Great, I hope so. Mama's been working hard for a long time.
And it shows, and it's very rewarding. It's great to listen to music like that as a new release and think, wow, this lady is really cooking.
Right. I'm just so excited about all the airplay I've gotten and the reaction I've gotten. It's just it makes it all worthwhile. Because, as an artist, it's not easy. You have to have perseverance, and it's not an easy road, but I'm glad I've stuck to it.
Well, you're in the center of the highway at the moment, Laura, and looking very good.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's
Okay.
nice to hear.
Well, thank you for your time on this Friday. And Laura Tate, thank you very much for talking to me. And we look forward to hearing more of your music and perhaps seeing you this side of the Atlantic when things are better.
Oh, I hope so. I really want to go and tour over there. And I've been to London, and it's quite beautiful. I would love to go and perform there.
Yeah, the time will come. Laura, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Okay, I'll see you soon, hopefully.
Okay, goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.